can get this off here. First of all, I think it's just great that I followed the passion person. No, I'm serious. I'm very, very serious about that, because I think the key thing here is that that's what we've been working on the last 2.5 days. We have been working on passion. And I want to tell just a very brief story about me and where I've come from, but I want to come back to how we're going to leave here. We've spent a lot of time listening to everyone talk, but we need to come out of here with a sense of action. So many people in here mentioned about what are we going to do. There is so much knowledge in this room. It is powerful. I think that's the one thing that I love about the beauty of all of these brains. Just like she said, they're all snowflakes. But in this room, what we could create in the way of an avalanche of knowledge and be able to be the parents for these children, give them the guidance that they need. I just want to stop for just a moment just to give you a little bit about my past. I grew up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I sort of get a little carried away here. Okay. A little passion. Just a little, just a little. Okay. I grew up back in a little town called Baltimore. I had my parents, they stood, my mother and father were 5 feet tall. I was their shortest child. My brothers were all 6 feet tall. But they had to watch out for me. That's why I love when I was listening to Zeke's story, because my dad gave them, they had to take care of me. Okay? They had to take care of me. The thing that I treasure, you will find on the table there a little excerpt from a book that I'm getting ready to get started on about lessons from, my parents' name were Pearl and Dan. Okay? I want you to know that the reason why I stand right here, right now, is because of them. I would not be here. So that's why I believe in the power of what we're doing. Let me give you an example of something, and I think it comes up so prophetically, especially, is he still here? He's left, hasn't he? Was his name Ivan? Devin. Okay, he's gone. Okay, all right. But anyway, when he was talking about the racial situation, when I was in high school, I had an English teacher. She had a reputation for never giving an African American student any grade more than an F. An F was equivalent to fair. So I'm dating myself. You probably go, fair? Huh? What are you talking about? It's equivalent to a C today. So my parents had this thing about watching me. They had such insight. I know now, after being a parent, how much courage it had to take to watch your child doing certain things before you would step in. Wow. You know, when that kid takes those first steps, you want to go, can I grab it? Yeah? But my mother and father were able to sit back and just watch you do certain things. Now, I want to stop here for one moment, because a little bit earlier when we were talking about consequences and things of that sort, I can remember when I was real little, and I did something wrong, and I wanted to debate it. And my mom said, let me just tell you something. She said, there are 3 things that we're going to do here. She said, there's going to be some times when you do something, we're going to sit down and talk about it. She said, there are going to be other times where we might not have a little bit of time. We might just think about a couple of things. She said, but you know what? I have been here longer than you. And she said, so therefore, I sense danger. I sense when things are not safe. So I'm going to stop you, and it ain't no time for those discussions. And she said, well, I'll give you the look. Anybody in here familiar with the look? You remember the look? There were no words. It was just the look. There wasn't no time for no fight and flight. It was the look. Okay? So I'm mentioning that for a reason. Okay, so I would come in every day talking about how terrible this is. This teacher, she's this, oh, I'm just going on and on and on, and I swear, thank goodness my mother had patience. My parents had to go on to the well called patience. Okay, so they, but that's what they would do. They would watch you. And then after a couple of weeks, she said, Jean, I've been listening to you. Now, what she would do, always, she would describe exactly what she saw. Exactly what she saw. She never made any judgments about it. So you didn't have time to really get, defensive about it, because you knew she was telling you the facts. But that's the thing about stick to the facts. My mom could stick to the facts. She didn't go into, oh, I know you intended to do this. Oh, well, you meant to do, It was what did she see and what did she hear? So I'm listening, and I know I can't argue with because she's absolutely right. I know that she's what she saw. So anyway, she said, okay, I've got some questions. And that was one of her things when you were talking a bit earlier about that fight and flight. I didn't have time for that because she had already made it safe. Okay, I didn't have time to go through all of the anxiousness I felt because she had just sort of very calmly, very quietly told me what was going on. And then she stepped back and she said, I got a couple questions for you. She said, when you go into the classroom, who in that classroom has all of the information? I stood there. Pondered it. I said, well, I guess it's the teacher. I said, okay. She said, okay. Now, when you go in the classroom tomorrow, what is your job? I guess it's to get all the information. She said, okay. She said, all right, now I'm going to tell you something. What I want you to do from this day forth is to go into that room and get as much information as you can. She said that's your only job from here on out is to get all the information that teacher gives you. I don't want to hear any more about this conversation, she said, because you have to be focused on that. Let me tell you why you have to be focused on that. She said, because guess what? Once you have that information, it's all up here. And no one can take it from you. Well, you're a teenager. What do you care? Yeah, that sounds real good. All right? But I'm still ticked off at this teacher. Okay, all right? But I knew enough, that's why I came back to the look. I knew enough that, hey, I bet if I wanted to talk, I better talk to my friends. And I better get real busy on getting all the information. Every now and then I might just get a little something in, because maybe the teacher would do something, and girlfriend would look over and give me that look. And it's as soon as I saw the look, I could remember what she was saying. Remember to get all the information. Okay, the end of the year comes, and unfortunately, with all the hard work, I get an F. Now, it would be nice to say that I was trying to remember what my mother said, but right now I still was ticked. It's like, what do you mean? I did all that work. But I still could hear my mother in the background going, you got all the information? No one can take it from you. Okay, fast forward. I went to University of Maryland College Park, humongous campus. Those of you that are familiar with College Park, there were 30. Now, this was then, and I ain't going to tell you how long then was. It was 33,000 students on the campus, including the commuting students. You went into a classroom and there were 500 students. It wasn't unusual to step into an auditorium. You leave a little school and go to that, yeah, that's an adjustment. okay, I'll go into my English class. Now, when we took our exams and we had what we call a blue book. Okay, oh, I got some nodding heads. Now, those of you that are not old enough, a blue book was something where you took out a pencil or a pen and you wrote in it and you wrote your answers on it, okay? Didn't have a computer in those days. Had a slide rule in a book. I can still see it. I had a slide rule on my side. But anyway, you go, what's a slide rule? Okay. 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 Well, I get back that first test, and in the upper right-hand corner is a B plus. Thank you very much. I was so ecstatic, but as I glanced away, because you know how the brain is, because then, you know, I just focused in on that, but all of a sudden I glanced away and I said, there were some words underneath of that. And it said, please see me after class. Wait, I got to be plus. What you want to see me for? I got to be plus. So anyway, I go on up. Professor starts to talk about what I could have done to have gotten an A. Okay, I'm okay with that. Because I'm still back to shoot. I had an F back there. Do you think I'm dealing with it? Hey, this is cool. I'm on my way. I'm going to listen and see what I can do. But then the oddest thing happened. He started asking me questions like this. He said, where are you from? Baltimore. He said, what do your parents do? I said, well, my mom, she's a correction. My mom would always say, I manage the home. She would never say, I am just a housewife. That's a whole nother story, and it'll be in my book. But anyway, and my dad was a postal worker. Okay, and then he said, well, you know, where'd you go to school? And I'm like, what is this man asking me this question? I got the B plus. I'm ready to get out of here. Okay, I got to run back to the dorm and tell my mom. So anyway, he goes on to say, after I told him where I'd gone to school, then he said, you know, let me tell you the reason why I called you up here. He said, I do not know who taught you English, and I don't know where you gained all your skills. He said, but you have an excellent command of the English language. I wish you could have seen. I might have made somebody in the Olympics look like they were tied like this. I was running back to that dorm to get to that payphone. In the old days, we had payphone. Because we didn't have phones in our room. They didn't have that Caroline Hall. I can see it now. I'm running down the steps. I call my mom. She's on the other line. I'm telling her what happened. And then she says, see, that's the reason why I told you. It was so important to get all of the information, because no one can take it from you. I'm here to tell you that leaving that, because when I went to Maryland, I was among the first blacks that went to Maryland. There were less than 30 of us in a campus of 33,000. Walk across the campus called all kinds of names. But my mama told me a long time ago, know who you are, stand tall, and forget about that. So as life went on, and I ended up working as a chemistry instructor, woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm tired of doing this. I have more time than I have money. I'm going into private industry. I left there. I went to work for a couple of little companies you may have heard called AT&T, Xerox. I ended up even being a financial advisor at Solomon Smith Barney. But I'm here to tell you, every time I walked into a situation and there was prejudice or bias, my whole thing was, I'm going to figure out how to do this. You will not get in my way, because I know what the result is. I know I am here to do a job. It's immaterial whether you think that I'm the only, I had one man say to me, why aren't you home raising children? I looked him right in the face. I said, for the same reason you're not homeless. Because the bottom line is, my mother taught me a long time ago, focus on the result. Know exactly what it is that you want. And I am here to tell you, after being among the first and among the few, that lesson has worked for me practically every single time. When you are real clear about what you want, just like we are right here, we can accomplish it. That we don't have to take a test, because the passion is right here. And I want us right now to make a decision about what it is we're going to do and what do we really want, because we have too much knowledge, we have too much information, we have too much guidance in this room. We need to take this out. We've sat here and talked among ourselves, and we talk, oh, hey, we're preaching to the choir here. Amen. Amen. I love it. All right. Speak to me. Okay. The princess says to me. Yeah. But seriously, the key thing here is we have spent these days sharing such great knowledge. Wayne Dyer says that nobility is not being better than others. It's being better than I was yesterday. Go forth and serve.